that is, it does feel personal. It feels personal when you've dedicated your life to the service and education and training of other people's children.
Education savings accounts will be the future of Texas education. That's a promise from Governor Abbott. He wants to give parents a say in where and what their child learns by providing the money to pay for private education.
And there are private schools and charter schools that are abysmal. And there's some public schools that are abysmal. And so it feels like that it's going to impact every district, even the ones that are really performing very well.
There are charter schools in Texas, considered public schools. They offer alternative education paths for students compared to traditional public schools. Richard Baumgartner is the founder and director of Rise Academy, who is for what he considers to be school choice.
If I'm going to be an advocate for charter schools, which is part of school choice, it's hard for me to be selective and say only charter schools should be a form of school choice. I support a voucher program, but it has to be crafted carefully.
The Texas Senate delivered its version of ESAs earlier this month, proposing the state provide parents with $10,000 per student per year. The House's version of ESAs proposes families receive 85% of the allotment school districts receive per student. One concern Friendship ISD's superintendent has is the transparency of the funds and the accountability measures the state will put in place.
Particularly in West Texas, we're a conservative group of people, and Texas is a conservative state. And as I reflect on it and really rack my brain, I cannot figure out what is conservative about giving taxpayer money to anyone without any sort of accountability.
Both the House and the Senate have set aside $1 billion to fund ESAs initially. The House also wants to provide additional funding to public schools, about $220 per student. The House is stipulating funding for vouchers on additional funding for public schools, something educators say has been missing since 2019.
And we have had over 20% inflation since then. So this is probably the first time ever, and certainly on camera, that I've advocated for spending more money on public education, a modest amount more for us all.
With a start of $1 billion for ESAs, and the billions that are spent on charter schools, and the billions that are spent on public schools, what happens if we have a down year and the billions are gone? And so I know that kind of sounds like the sky is falling, but sometimes the sky falls.
Based on both the House and Senate's budgets, only about 100,000 students will have access to ESAs initially. If the spots fill up too quickly, the state will prioritize students with disabilities and students considered as low income.
Middle-income people deserve a break too. Tuition at private schools is costly, I understand that. But let's put our resources from the state, first and foremost, if we're going to have state-funded school choice, to those families that are greatest in need.
The Senate considers that income line as roughly a 4-person family, bringing home around $160,000 annually. The House considers that $64,000 and $160,000 annually. Because of that threshold, some educators are also concerned with who the accounts will actually benefit.
Are we providing public funds to comfortably middle-class families or above, whereas I think we should probably at least start a voucher program targeted at low-income students in certain areas where the need is the greatest for school choice.
There's also concern that the money provided by the state won't be enough for families to actually afford private school or the transportation it might take to get there. Lawmakers in favor of school choice are also emphasizing the bills will help students with disabilities. Public educators say that's not necessarily a guarantee, as private schools are not required to accept anyone, unlike public schools.
Like it or not, agree with it or not, We take the masses. We take the masses, and I'm grateful that we do. But we're not just an education institution, we're a social service institution. We provide counseling, we provide meals, we provide social work, we provide by mandate and because we want to.
When it comes down to it, area schools are still confident in their ability to serve their students. Madeline Hall, KCBD News Channel 11.